Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? With Mr. Seb.
Hi, you're welcome to another episode of Do You Know with Mr. Seb. Okay, on today's episode, we're going to be asking this question. It says that is it okay for Christian couples to talk about sex before marriage? First of all, let me tell you this. If we talk about sex before marriage, stones will be thrown at us. But don't worry, even if the stone hits you, extend the grace of God to the person, okay? I will say it is not just okay, but it is essential for a long-term Christian marriage, okay? The Bible didn't address every detail about marriage, but then we must follow biblical principle, okay? The Bible tells us to follow God's original plan about marriage, and original plan about marriage includes sex, okay? So if couples, we already have said that if couples are dating, then they're preparing to get married, so they need to talk about it to know what they're going into, okay? The world has perverted the talk about sex. If we Christians don't talk about the modest way of sex, then we may go into marriage with the wrong notion, what the world has put in our heads, okay? The media have exploited the talk about sex and have exploited it in a different kind of way, you know. The devil is very trickish and you know that kind of thing. So when we see the media and we see the things that happen there, we as Christian couples, I would say that Christian counselors should make sure they talk to couples about sex before marriage. They should encourage them to talk about sex. But because we are Christians, yeah, and we know that we're preparing to get married, St. Paul and Jesus have urged us to avoid sexual immorality and to stay away from fornication. So when we talk about this thing, we are talking about it from a Christian point of view, okay? So that we don't just get into marriage and then someone once said that when things are good in the bedroom, then all other things are minor. I don't know how true that is. But then, yes, I think that sex is a very important part of marriage. In fact, it's one essential part of marriage. And so before you go into it, talk about it. So that you don't go into it and then the person is impotent. Madam will start shouting, I didn't know he was like this. Child. Hey. Very important. Talk about it. Yeah, so that we don't hear story. Story. Once upon a time we didn't talk about sex, and now I am suffering it. Okay, yeah, so I'm just saying that we need to talk about it, okay? We need to talk about sex, yes. So I'll see you again on another episode of Do You Know with Mr. Seb. Remain blessed and I'll leave you in peace, okay?